What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson with you all, breaking down the latest Broncos news and rumors as we head into free agency. And maybe the most prominent story at the moment is this. The Broncos did not franchise tag Draymond Jones. They will let him test free agency. I didn't expect them to put the $19+ million franchise tag on him. And I also didn't think he was deserving of that. I don't think he's a player who deserves $19 million. He's coming off a 6.5 sack season. Definitely an ascending guy, but them not franchise tagging him definitely gives me a sense of he might be on the way out, because if they really wanted to keep him, they would have franchise tagged him at least as a placeholder until they can figure out a longer contract extension. But the fact that they're letting him test the open waters, he's probably going to find more money elsewhere, and he's probably going to take it. So, with that being said, we got more news to hit on. Field Yates tweeted out just before we started our live show that the Broncos have signed wide receiver Lil'Jordan Humphrey. I mean, that is a first ballot NFL name right there. Lil'Jordan Humphrey, he originally started his career coming out of Texas with the New Orleans Saints, so you can see the connection already. In his career, he has 18 grabs for 315 yards and 3 touchdowns. He spent some time with the New England Patriots in 2022, and he joins this wide receiver room, which, I mean, I don't really know who wide receiver 1, 2, or 3 is going into 2023, if we can talk about that for a second. It's not Cortland Sutton at wide receiver 1, most likely. Probably Judy, then Patrick, then Sutton. But it's a wide receiver room that's filling out, that's got some good pieces. And if they're all playing well and they're all healthy, it's a wide receiver room I'm really comfortable with. But Lil'Jordan Humphrey, for now, is going to be on the 90-man roster, so expect to see him when OTAs and stuff roll around, him trying to earn a spot on the 53-man roster. Now, let's jump into what I originally planned for today's show. So coming up, is it a one-year prove-it audition situation for Russell Wilson? A new report says so. Also, we got some more Cortland Sutton trade buzz to hit on here as the NFL Combine produces so many great juicy rumors, and we got more information on that front. Also, Denver reportedly quite interested in some running backs. I didn't think they would be as interested as they are, but that might signal some big concern for Javonte Williams going into 2023. But most importantly, free agency is here, and if you want the best Broncos free agency news and rumors, like signings of Lil'Jordan Humphrey, well, you know where to subscribe. Hit that sub button and get the best Broncos coverage out there. Now, let's jump into the Russell Wilson portion of the show. So, a source to Matthew Berry at the NFL Combine said, I don't think Sean Payton likes Russell Wilson. Dun, dun, dun. Russell Wilson could be out after this season without a dramatic turnaround. At least that's what Matthew Berry was more or less getting at here. His 2024 dead cap hit is $85 million. Remember, that's next year. There's no way he's going anywhere this year. He is stuck, $100+ million dead cap hit. But next year's not that much better. It's $85 million. Now, let's see what Matthew Berry said in his write-up coming out of the Combine. More than one person mentioned to me that Russell Wilson is basically on a one-year audition. Said one source, I don't think Payton likes Russ. He's got 1 year to prove himself or Payton will move on. Berry would go on to say, this source pointed out that Payton has said multiple times in public on the record how Russell keeps bothering Drew Brees. Payton tries to play it off for a laugh, but my source doesn't think Payton actually think it's funny. And here we go. Get your popcorn ready because it is rumors galore right now. Now, this is just coming from Matthew Berry. I can't say definitively whether it is true or not, but we know Russell Wilson on and off the field. And off the field, he works hard. I mean, when I was flying over to London last week, I never thought to do some high knees on my Delta flight, but Russell Wilson did. So Russell Wilson's going to do everything possible to get himself and his team in a good position to win, and that comes at a price of bothering Drew Brees, it sounds like. But the idea of Sean Payton moving on from Russ after 1 year, I don't think I can say shocks me, but it surprises me because when Sean Payton took this job, I'm sure he took it with an understanding of, I want to know what I'm getting into. If Russ sucks again in 2023, how long am I stuck with him for? Did ownership say, we'll eat $85 million in dead cap and you just have one more year? And that was the only way Sean Payton would agree to come to Denver? I mean, look at the actual numbers behind it. If Russell Wilson is released before June 1st next year in 2024, the dead cap hit is $85 million. The cap savings is, that's not a typo, negative $49.6 million. Now, if they release him after June 1st, you could just split the dead cap hit over some time. The dead cap hit is $35.4 million for 2024. In 2025, it's $49.6. You even get some cap savings to go along with it. So you could wait till a post-June 1 in 2024 and not have it be an absolute sinking number for a franchise. But even then, $85 million is a lot of money to eat. So predict it for me. Will Russ be out of Denver after 2023? Is he entering his last year with the Broncos if things don't go swimmingly well? Yes or no? I personally just think that $85 million is too big for Denver to eat. I mean, when you look at Wilson's dead cap hit over the rest of his contract, there's why you can't move on from him this year. $107 million. I still think 85 is too high for Denver to stomach. Now, in 2025, that's 2+ seasons away. 49.6, that's no problem, especially with how big the cap will be at that point. It's in the mid $200 million right now. It'll be over $300 million by then. That you could manage. Still not great. And then afterwards, it's really whenever you want to do it, if he's still around at that point, because he didn't pick up his quarterback play, but hopefully he does. Now, if we go fast forward to 2025, so that's 2 years from now, the 2025 dead cap hit, if you release him after June 1st, is just $18 million. You get to split some of it over 2026, 31.2, and you get some cap savings of $37 million. So that is a much more likely route, I think. If I'm Sean Payton, I'm wondering, hey, if Russ sucks next year, what's the soonest I could get out of this contract? I think it would have to be a post-June 1st designation cut in 2025. I just don't see Denver eating $85 million. Even if it's a one-year audition, $85 million is a ton of money. How much? It's about double the NFL dead cap record set by Matt Ryan and the Falcons at $40.5 million. It's double and then some. Are the Broncos really that desperate? I mean, Russ's play in 2023 will be the largest factor and indicator of what his future holds. But even if it's similar to this year, 85, I think is just too high of a number for the Broncos to eat. All right, let's switch gears and talk about Cortland Sutton now. So speaking of Matthew Berry, he also reported from the Combine that the Broncos are quietly shopping Sutton. Now, Sutton has not eclipsed 1,000 yards in 3 straight seasons, one of them being when he tore his ACL, but 2 straight years of pretty underwhelming play for a guy who just got a contract extension. His base salary, by the way, this season, $14 million. That's a big chunk of change for someone who is not playing like a $14 million receiver. Here's what Berry said. As long as we're talking Denver, I'm told the Broncos are quietly shopping Cortland Sutton. Not actively pushing him, but definitely trying to see if there's a trade market for him, and if they get a decent offer, would move him. So here are some Cortland Sutton stats and figures I want to show you guys. Remember, he got a contract extension in November 2021. Before that extension, you see why he got it. 2,499 yards and 12 touchdowns in 43 games. I mean, he was an awesome receiver for this team. Since the extension, he's played in 22 games and has scored twice. I mean, it simply could not be stated even more than he, after the extension, got the money and ran. I mean, he's not that type of player, but his play has played like that, right? He has not lived up to the extension. I'm at the point now, if someone offers the Broncos a 3rd-round pick, I'm taking the deal on the spot. Broncos get 3 third-round picks in the draft when they don't have a first and they don't have a second for a receiver who scored 2 touchdowns in the last 22 games. Sign me up. Tell me where to sign. I'm in. I mean, if it's a second, no doubt about it. Don't even give him a chance to second guess it. But even a 3rd-rounder, if it's a really high, if it's like a conditional 3rd-round pick, then I might be, tossing and turning a little bit more. But if it's a lower 3rd-round pick, yeah, ask me where to sign and what color ink you wanted it. Now, let me know what you think about this. Would you trade Sutton for a third-round pick? Type T for trade or P for pass. Get your votes in down in the comments section. The next segment on today's show, are the Broncos interested in some running backs? So the Broncos are reportedly interested in Kareem Hunt and David Montgomery. We'll take a look at these two backs in just a second, but St. Patrick's Day is not around the corner. It is just over a week away, and you don't want to be the only guy or girl at your St. Patrick's party not wearing green. So get this awesome Broncos St. Patty's Day shirt. It's pretty good price if you ask me. When you go to chatsports.com/Broncos Green, I put that link for everyone in the comments and the description of today's show. Going back to Matthew Berry, because he was just the fountain of Broncos rumors coming out of the combine, here's what he said. The most fascinating nugget about Denver and possibly the whole combine was about Javonte Williams' health, and I'm told there is a very wide range of possibilities regarding his return. There is a chance he is healthy to start the year. There is a chance he misses multiple games. And there is actually a chance he misses all of next year. I was told he is currently a lot more hurt than the team is letting on publicly, and that the Broncos are secretly nervous. Don't be surprised if the Broncos wind up with Kareem Hunt when all is said and done. I think the Broncos are probably planning to not have Javonte Williams in 2023, right? And if you do get him, that's just extra money from the house. But he suffered a major knee injury in October, similar to what happened to J.K. Dobbins in August when he suffered his injury, and he wasn't ready till really about October, and he had to get second surgery after that. So if the Broncos go out and sign a bigger name running back and not just roll with like Latavius Murray and a rookie, to me that's going to send a lot of red flags up of they don't think Williams is going to play much or even at all in 2023, right? I mean, if he's not even healthy until double-digit weeks, and who knows what's going on with the Broncos at that point, they might just shut him down for the rest of the season. Kareem Hunt will flash his stats on screen for a moment. He was not that productive for Cleveland last year, just 468 rushing yards. He's always been a good receiving back, but just 210 through the air. Now, David Montgomery is another name to keep an eye on, as he could be plan B if Denver can't get Hunt, according to Berry. I got news for you, Matthew. No one else is going to be barking up the Kareem Hunt tree. You saw those stats yourselves. If you want Kareem Hunt, you can get him, right? I don't think there's going to be a lot of competitive offers coming for Hunt. So if he's really their number one guy, you might as well start asking him where he wants to live in the Denver area, because there's not going to be a big competition for signing Kareem Hunt. Now, when it comes to Montgomery, if they decide to go a different direction and just get a better running back altogether, I think Monty for the Chicago Bears the last 4 seasons, came out strong, had some great first few seasons, 889 rushing yards, over 1,000 in his second year. But the last 2 seasons really haven't seen the growth the Bears probably wanted to see. He's also been a good player coming out of the receiving end of things, right? 213 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns altogether. So if you had to pick a running back between these two guys, who would it be? I'm guessing Kareem Hunt probably cost you $5 million. I think Montgomery could cost you around $10 million. So do you want to spend the extra $10 or $5 million for Monty? Let me know. Type the number of the jersey you'd rather see in Denver next season. I think an extra $5 million for Montgomery is probably worth it, especially with the way that Kareem Hunt played last season. So I'd roll with Monty at $10 million. Maybe he gets a little bit more, and that could change things, but for now, I'll keep it there.